I signed the divorce papers thinking my husband had left me for good, only to discover in horror that on the very same day he secretly married my own sister, betraying me completely after years of marriage, lies, and trust. I signed the divorce papers thinking my husband left me, only to discover he secretly married my sister the same day. The pen trembled in my hand as I stared at the divorce papers spread across the mahogany table. My signature looked foreign, almost like someone else had written it. The lawyer's voice was a distant hum as he explained the finalization process, but all I could think about was how my 5-year marriage to David had crumbled so suddenly. "Mrs. Harrison, I mean Miss Chen," the lawyer corrected himself awkwardly. "The papers will be processed within 30 days. You'll receive your copy in the mail." I nodded numbly, gathering my purse and the few documents that now defined the end of my life with David. 3 weeks ago, he had simply announced he was leaving. No explanation, no fight, no closure. Just a cold declaration that he was done with our marriage and needed space to find himself. The September rain pelted against the law office windows as I walked to my car. I had taken the afternoon off for my job at the marketing firm, telling my boss I had a dentist appointment. The lie felt insignificant compared to the larger deception that had apparently been my entire marriage. My phone buzzed as I sat in the parking lot, staring at nothing. It was my sister Emma. "Sarah, are you okay? I know today was hard." Emma had been my rock through this entire ordeal. She had listened to me cry, brought me ice cream, and even helped me pack David's things when he refused to come back to the house. At 28, she was 3 years younger than me, but had always been the more emotionally mature one. "I'm fine," I lied. "Just glad it's over. Do you want to come over for dinner? Mom's making her famous lasagna." The thought of facing my parents' pitying looks made my stomach churn. They had never particularly liked David, claiming he was too charming, too smooth. I had dismissed their concerns as overprotectiveness. Now I wondered if they had seen something I had missed. "Maybe tomorrow," I said. "I think I need to be alone tonight." "Okay, but call if you need anything. Love you." "Love you too." I drove home to the house David and I had bought 2 years ago. It felt enormous and hollow without his presence. His coffee mug still sat in the sink where I had left it, unable to bring myself to wash it. Pathetic, I know, but it was the last tangible proof that he had once existed in this space. The next few days passed in a blur of work, takeout dinners, and mindless television. I avoided social media, knowing that seeing happy couples would only make me feel worse. My coworkers were kind but awkward, offering condolences, as if someone had died. In a way, someone had. On Friday evening, exactly 1 week after signing the papers, I decided to surprise Emma with a visit. She had been checking on me constantly, and I thought it was time to show her I was starting to heal. I picked up a bottle of her favorite wine and drove to her apartment downtown. Her building required a key card to enter, but I knew she kept a spare hidden behind the fire extinguisher on the second floor. Emma had always been trusting to a fault. As I climbed the stairs to her third-floor apartment, I could hear music playing softly through her door. I was about to knock when I heard a familiar laugh. Male. Deep. Unmistakable. My blood turned to ice. David's voice carried through the thin walls, saying something I couldn't quite make out, followed by Emma's giggle. The wine bottle slipped from my numb fingers, shattering on the hallway floor and sending red liquid splashing across the walls like blood. With shaking hands, I pulled out my phone and called Emma. Through the door, I could hear her phone ringing. "Sarah?" Her voice was breathless when she answered. "Emma, I'm outside your apartment. Open the door." Silence. Then frantic whispering. "Sarah, this isn't a good time. I'm not feeling well. Open the door, Emma. Now." More whispering. Then footsteps. The door opened just a crack, and Emma's face appeared, flushed and guilty. "Sarah, I can explain." I pushed past her into the apartment. David sat on her couch, shirtless, his wedding ring glinting on his finger. Our wedding ring. The one he had claimed to have lost months ago. "Hello, Sarah," he said calmly, as if running into me at the grocery store. I looked between them, my sister's face crumpling with tears, my ex-husband's expression unreadable. On the coffee table, I noticed a stack of papers. With trembling legs, I walked closer and saw what made my heart stop completely. Marriage certificates. 2 of them. One dated the exact same day I had signed our divorce papers. "You married her," I whispered. "The same day." Emma started sobbing. "Sarah, please let me explain. It wasn't supposed to happen this way." "Wasn't supposed to happen this way?" My voice rose to a shriek. "What way was it supposed to happen, Emma? Were you planning to wait a respectful amount of time? A month? A week?" David finally stood, pulling on his shirt. "Sarah, you need to calm down." "Don't you dare tell me to calm down." I turned on him with fury I didn't know I possessed. "You left me without explanation, made me think I was crazy, that I had done something wrong. And all this time, you were planning to marry my sister?" "It's not that simple," he said. Then make it simple for me, David. When did this start? Emma wiped her eyes, mascara streaking down her cheeks. 2 years ago, she whispered. The room spun. 2 years. They had been together for 2 years while I was married to him, while I was planning our future, while I was loving him completely and blindly. 2 years. I sank into a chair, feeling like all the air had been sucked from the room. Emma, I told you everything. Every fight we had, every problem, every intimate detail of our marriage. You comforted me. You gave me advice. I know, she sobbed. I hated myself every day. But not enough to stop. David moved toward Emma protectively. Don't blame her, Sarah. I pursued her. I convinced her. Oh, how noble of you. I spat. Protecting your new wife from your old one. I looked at the marriage certificates again. They had been married by a justice of the peace at City Hall. A small, quick ceremony. No family, no friends. No one to witness their betrayal. Does anyone else know? I asked. They exchanged glances. We were going to tell everyone after. Emma started. After what? After I what? Moved away? Killed myself? What exactly was your plan here? We were going to wait until you were ready, David said. Until you had moved on. I laughed, a harsh, bitter sound. Moved on? How could I move on when I didn't even know what I was moving on from? You made me think I was the problem, David. You made me think I wasn't good enough. Wasn't interesting enough. Wasn't enough, period. Emma stood up, wrapping her arms around herself. Sarah, you have to believe me. I never wanted to hurt you. I tried to stay away from him. I really did. When? I demanded. When did you try to stay away? When you helped me plan our anniversary dinner last year. When you listened to me cry because I thought David was having an affair with some random woman. When you helped me buy lingerie to try to win back my own husband. The memory of that shopping trip hit me like a physical blow. Emma had seemed uncomfortable. I remembered now, but I had attributed it to her general awkwardness about intimate topics. In reality, she had been helping me try to seduce her lover. I wanted to tell you so many times, Emma said. But David said it would hurt you more. David said. I repeated. Of course. And you just went along with whatever David said, didn't you? Just like I did. I studied my sister's face, really looked at her for the first time in years. She was beautiful, had always been the prettier one. Where I was average height with mousy brown hair and unremarkable features, Emma was tall and willowy with honey blonde hair and the kind of effortless beauty that made strangers do double takes. Is that what this is about? I asked quietly. Did you always want what I had? No, Emma protested. It wasn't like that. Sarah, you have to believe me. I fought these feelings for months. But David and I, we connect on a level that what? That we never did. David finally spoke up. Sarah, what Emma and I have is real. I know the timing is terrible, and I know we handled this badly, but I can't apologize for finding true love. True love, I repeated flatly. Is that what we call adultery and betrayal now? Our marriage was already over, David said. We both knew it. We were just going through the motions. I wasn't going through the motions. I screamed. I was fighting for us. I was trying to save what we had. What we had wasn't worth saving, David said quietly. The words hit me like a slap. 5 years of my life. Dismissed so casually. 5 years of shared dreams, inside jokes, lazy Sunday mornings, and quiet dinners. 5 years of building a life together, all declared worthless by the man who had promised to love me forever. I stood up slowly, my legs unsteady. I need to go. Sarah, please. Emma reached for me. We need to talk about this. We need to figure out how to move forward. I jerked away from her touch. Move forward? Emma, you married my husband. On the day my divorce was finalized. There is no moving forward from this. There is no family dinners and holiday gatherings and pretending this is okay. You chose him over me. You chose him over everything. That's not fair, she protested. You can't make me choose between love and family. You already did choose, I said. And you chose love. I hope it was worth it. I walked toward the door, my vision blurry with tears I refused to shed in front of them. Sarah, wait, David called. We need to discuss practical matters. The house, our assets. Have your lawyer call my lawyer, I said without turning around. Don't contact me directly. Either of you. Ever again. I left them standing in Emma's apartment, surrounded by the evidence of their deception. As I walked down the hallway, stepping carefully around the broken wine bottle and its red stain, I felt something shift inside me. The devastation was still there, the hurt and betrayal still raw, but underneath it all, I felt the first stirring of something else. Anger. Pure, righteous anger. They had taken 2 years of my life. 2 years of making me feel inadequate, of gaslighting me into thinking my marriage was failing because of my shortcomings. They had stolen my trust, my sense of reality, my ability to believe in love itself. but they hadn't stolen everything. Over the next few weeks, I threw myself into rebuilding my life. I hired the best divorce lawyer I could afford and contested the settlement, arguing that David's adultery and deception warranted a larger share of our assets. I started therapy to work through the betrayal and manipulation. I rejoined the gym and started eating better, not to win anyone back but to feel strong again. Most importantly, I began to tell people the truth. My parents were devastated, but not entirely surprised. We always sensed something was off about Emma's relationship with David, my mother admitted. The way she looked at him, the way she always defended him when you complained about him. My friends rallied around me with a fierce loyalty that surprised me. Several admitted they had suspected something was happening, but hadn't known how to tell me. My coworker Lisa confessed that she had seen Emma and David having lunch together multiple times at a restaurant across town. "I thought maybe they were planning a surprise for you," she said apologetically. "I feel so stupid now." "We all feel stupid," I assured her. That was the point. They made sure we all felt stupid, so we wouldn't see what was right in front of us. 3 months after discovering their betrayal, I received an invitation in the mail. Emma and David were having a reception to celebrate their marriage. The invitation was addressed to me alone, with a handwritten note from Emma. "Sarah, I know you're hurt, but you'll always be my sister. I hope someday you can forgive us and be happy for us. This isn't how I wanted things to happen, but David and I deserve a chance at happiness too. Please come. We miss you." I stared at the invitation for a long time, then walked to my fireplace and tossed it into the flames. They wanted forgiveness without accountability, happiness without consequences. They wanted me to smile and pretend their betrayal was just a minor inconvenience, an unfortunate timing issue rather than a deliberate deception that had lasted years. They wanted me to be smaller, to make myself smaller, so they could feel better about what they had done. But I was done being small. Instead of attending their reception, I went on a trip to Italy with my friend Rachel. We ate incredible food, visited museums, and I flirted shamelessly with a handsome waiter named Marco, who made me laugh until my sides hurt. I realized that I hadn't really laughed, really felt joy in years. David had been slowly dimming my light, making me doubt myself, making me smaller and more insecure. I had attributed it to the natural evolution of marriage, the settling into comfortable routine. But it hadn't been natural at all. It had been deliberate. When I returned from Italy, I made a decision that surprised everyone, including myself. I sold the house I had shared with David, took the money from the divorce settlement, and started my own marketing consultancy. Within 6 months, I had 3 major clients and was making more money than I ever had as an employee. Emma tried to contact me several times. She sent cards on my birthday and holidays, always with the same message, that she missed me, that she hoped we could reconcile, that family was more important than anything else. I never responded. A year after their marriage, I heard through mutual friends that Emma was pregnant. Part of me felt a pang of sadness for the niece or nephew I would never know, but I pushed it aside. Emma had made her choice when she chose to betray me. The consequences of that choice were not my responsibility to fix. 2 years later, I ran into David at a coffee shop. He looked older, tired. When he saw me, he approached hesitantly. "Sarah, you look great," he said. I did look great. I was in the best shape of my life, my business was thriving, and I was dating a wonderful man named James who treated me with respect and kindness. "Thank you," I said politely but coolly. "I've been thinking about you," David continued. "About us. About how things ended."
"Things didn't end, David. You ended them."
"When you decided to cheat on me with my sister for 2 years." He flinched. "It wasn't supposed to happen that way." "So you've said. How is Emma?" "She's fine. The baby keeps her busy." I waited for him to say more, but he seemed lost in thought. "I sometimes wonder," he said finally, "if I made a mistake." "What kind of mistake?" "Leaving you. Choosing her." I stared at him for a long moment. 2 years ago, those words would have meant everything to me. They would have indicated all the pain and self-doubt he had put me through. Now, they just made me feel tired. "David," I said quietly, "the mistake wasn't leaving me for Emma. The mistake was lying to me for 2 years. The mistake was making me think I was crazy, that I was the problem in our marriage. The mistake was betraying someone who loved you completely and honestly."
"I know," he said.
"I know I hurt you. You destroyed me," I corrected. "But you also did me a favor. You showed me exactly what kind of man you are and exactly what kind of person I don't want to be." "What do you mean?" "I mean I would never do to another person what you and Emma did to me. I would never lie for years, never manipulate someone's reality, never betray someone's trust so completely. You taught me that I'm capable of more integrity than I knew." David looked stricken. "Sarah, I have to go," I interrupted. "I'm meeting someone for lunch." As I walked away, I felt a strange sense of closure. Not forgiveness exactly, but something like peace. David and Emma had taken something from me, but they had also given me something unexpected. The knowledge of my own strength, my own worth, my own capacity to rebuild from nothing. 3 years after signing those divorce papers, I married James in a small ceremony surrounded by people who loved and supported us. My parents walked me down the aisle. My friends stood by my side. Emma and David were not invited, had not been part of my life for years, and I felt no sadness about their absence. Some people might say I should have forgiven them, that holding on to anger was only hurting myself. But I had learned the difference between forgiveness and reconciliation. I had forgiven them in my heart, released the anger that was poisoning my peace. But forgiveness didn't mean forgetting, and it didn't mean allowing people who had proven themselves capable of profound betrayal back into my life. Emma sent a wedding gift with a card that read, "I hope you find the happiness you deserve. I will always love you." I donated the gift to charity without opening it and threw the card away unread. Because the truth was, I had found the happiness I deserved. I had found it by refusing to accept less than I was worth, by refusing to make myself smaller to accommodate other people's choices, by refusing to prioritize other people's comfort over my own peace. I had found it by learning that sometimes the greatest act of love is knowing when to walk away. And I never looked back.